It is now 3 months ago that Skoda started the big service campaign for updating all first-generation ENYAQs to software version 3.7, who are currently running on version 3.0 and 3.1. And while Skoda did no official statement on how the update is going so far, I got a lot of feedback from you. Hundreds of mails and comments and messages reached to me. There were weeks with 20 mails from people who got their ENYAQ updated, so I have a deep insight. How's the update going? What issues are occurring? What problems do those workshops have when updating the car? And maybe there are even some hidden new features Skoda didn't list itself on their update campaign website. And with this, hello friends of the electrified charging fun, and welcome to Speicher Elektrisiert, Electrified Speicher, your channel all around Skoda's e-mobility. And if you're interested in an update for the update to 3.7, then this video is exactly for you. There are no official numbers on how many ENYAQs got updated, on how many updates had an issue or a failure, and Skoda didn't provide me any information on that. So I can only do some rough estimations based on all the forums and social medias I've digged through and all your feedback. I would assume that around 25 to 30% of all eligible ENYAQs, so those with 3.0 and 3.1, are already updated to 3.7. Numbers could vary much, way lower, way higher, I don't know. But they are dependent on the workshops who do the update. They have limited capacity. So basically this is my estimation. It could be right, it could be wrong. And if I've got the number right in my head, there are around 70 to 80,000 ENYAQs with software 3.0 or 3.1 on the road. And when we do the calculation on this, basically around 18 to 22,000 ENYAQs were updated. So let's go with 20,000. And this means that from 3 to 5% of those people I've got feedback, which gives me a huge amount of information and a deep insight. But one thing that is also often mentioned is that people say, I will wait, I don't do the update right now. You are not forced right now to do the update, so basically they are waiting. And now let's talk about why do people wait with the update and do not storm towards their dealership and asking to get it as fast as possible. Finally, an update is there and people do not rush. People are not in a hurry, and a lot of people say, well, I will wait. Let's see how this works out. And basically, I got that feedback from you and I asked myself, why? Why do you wait? Why is there not that rush? Because everybody wants an update. Also those here, you see there's a Cupra Born from a neighbor of mine next to me. We are a rather electric household here. We've got 2 ENYAQs and 1 Cupra Born and sometimes an Ioniq 6 and I guess 3 Model Y Teslas. Never mind, I'm drifting off. Back to the updates. But a Cupra Born driver also wants to have updates. Why do you wait? Well, the first and important thing here is you do not wait because you do not want updates. Don't get that wrong, Skoda, if you're watching this video. People still want updates, but they wait because they do not have trust in Skoda anymore and that they execute the update flawlessly. And why is that? Because on social media you only find information about updates that went wrong. And you do not find much information on all those easy updates which just worked and went through, and then you get the bias that the update has a lot of problems, which in reality it doesn't. This is one thing. And another thing I would say is that people simply don't know that there is an update because there is no real active communication around it. Yes, Skoda has its websites online with the information on this, but they don't actively push it towards you, nor do their dealers, because maybe they are not interested in doing so. And I even got responses that dealers told customers, no, don't do the update. So much problems, so much errors, and everything we need to do then is to talk to Skoda in Czech Republic, and this takes way too long. This is bad communication. And so the dealers don't push it active, Skoda doesn't maybe because it's not paid, but on the other side it would be much easier to have one software base for all the first generation ENYAQs, so software version 3.7 in every car. So I don't get it. But one main reason is that bias, that so many updates went wrong, and let's clarify on this. Let's see what are the issues and how many updates do really not work out. If we talk about the problems with the update, I want to put them into two categories. Category 1, problems which occur during the update at the dealership. And category 2 is problems after the update and how to solve them. This is the next chapter. So let's focus on those at the dealership. And now the question occurs, how many problems do really occur? So how many updates do really fail? Well, there are no official numbers from Skoda. I don't get any information from them on this, but there are two surveys done, one at the EV launch on Facebook and one in a German ENYAQ forum, and of course your feedback, which I could also look into. And if I take all these numbers, I would roughly estimate that 85 or even more % of all updates went flawlessly through. What do I mean by this? Well, Skoda itself states that it's around 4 hours to get an ENYAQ updated to 3.7, but let's be generous and say if you bring your ENYAQ one morning to the dealer and get it back in the afternoon or latest next morning, then the update was flawlessly and you've got your updated ENYAQ with no errors. And for me, 85 or more % of the updates are done like this. But what about the other 15%? Well, if we talk about those, I would assume that 95% of those are rather small issues which could be solved at the dealership. Yes, it takes them a bit of time, maybe 2, 3 or 4 days, but then you get your car back. And what I mean with this is those may be of failure when updating, so you have to start all over again, or you have some control unit where the update did not went through and you have to start it again, stuff like that, but no hardware is compromised or even damaged. And then we've got these small, very, very small numbers where you have real heavy issues. And with this I mean damaged, broken hardware. And this is only a very small amount. But I have one example where the ENYAQ is in the workshop for over 6 weeks now and still not repaired because some control unit got damaged and is not deliverable. And here it gets ugly because these customers feel like being left alone. They don't get any update statuses, they don't get any help, and very, very often they don't get spare mobility. So they don't get a car to be mobile again, or only if they pay for it, and I cannot accept this. If the workshop damages some hardware, he should keep his customer safe and sound, give him a car so that he is mobile, and update him on a regular basis what is going on, what is done next, and when to expect when it's done. Because it's not the fault of the customer that a control unit got broken. It's the fault of a not working update process in this case. Even though these are very, very low numbers where this occurs. And here Skoda has something where they can improve a lot to keep those customers happy. But again, to be clear, this is only a rather small amount of problems. And so you should not wait to get the update because you hear those stories, because this is not what in most cases happens. Well, basically they are two problems I know after the update, and no more other problems were mentioned. So basically it sums up to these two, and they are rather small ones and easy to solve. The first one is that you might see in your information about the software app in your ENYAQ that it says version is 3.5. And this depends whether your workshop has done the update of the app after the update to 3.7 or not. And if they didn't do the update, then you've got this little issue, and it's quite easy to solve. You need an over-the-air update of the app information about the software to solve this. Yes, you heard that right. That app needs an update to display the correct version of your ENYAQ, and this is done over the air. And when you got the update, then you will have 3.7. So rather easy. You can do it yourself if the dealer or workshop didn't done it for you. The other one is a bigger problem, but also easy to solve. Right behind me here, there is a blue ENYAQ, which got recently updated to version 3.7. And this blue ENYAQ has a problem some of you might also have. And I got a couple of emails and comments that I should dig into this and to find a solution for that. And that problem has to do when you've got a photovoltaic system on your roof and you charge with the excess power. And I'm here with Florian, who hurriedly invited me to check the problem. And Florian, can you tell us what the problem is you've got?
The problem is when I'm charging my ENYAQ with the power from the roof, and then another consumer is coming in, let's say a stove or the heat pump or something, the ENYAQ stops charging, and if it recomes after 15-20 minutes, it will not charge again or start to charge again.
Basically, this is what a lot of viewers told me. And some really clever viewers and people already found a solution for that, because the problem lies within the onboard charger, the AC charger, which also gets a software update when you get updated to 3.7. And if you want to get this working again, the easiest solution would be the fuse. So you remove the fuse and put it back in. You do that at your own risk. If you're unsure, please go to the dealer. And now we will show you how to do that. So let's do it. Let's reset the onboard charging unit. And therefore you have to look for the fuse box in your motor compartment, not the one in the interior. This one here is it. And as you can see, there's a fuse symbol, and you can just pop the box up if you use these two clamps on the side, lift the hood, and there you go. All the fuses in the front department. And the correct one is this one here. And I'll show you in a diagram how this looks. And for easier access, you have this little pincer here. You go on the fuse and just lift it up. I don't do it again because I did it in the German video. I do not want to pull it twice. Then just wait around 60 seconds and put the fuse back in. And now, very important, please close the lid accordingly so that no water can get inside, because this would be a terrible thing. And do not damage these clamps. So therefore, please start to lock the box on the right side, push it down, push on the left, check that it's really closed, and then you're good to go. Now you should charge again with the excess from your photovoltaic, and there should be no issues. On Skoda's website, you find a lot of information on what is done with the update, on what new features and bug fixes you get. But not all is mentioned there, and some parts are rather general written, and you do not really know what does that mean. But the community again listed a lot of stuff, sent a lot of stuff to me, what they think got improved too or got fixed too, which is not mentioned there. And I just picked out some of those where I think this is really important to know. Also, if you still consider, should I update or not? This might change your mind. And first off, there was one part mentioned on the Skoda website, which is improvement in driving behavior and regeneration. This is rather general, but what people found out that there should have been an optimization of the engines, of the motors, and maybe even of the battery management system. So the control units got optimized, and consumption is lower than before. Some even stated it should be around 10% less consumption. I cannot prove it, and there's no official statement from Skoda, but that might be a good reason to do the update if consumption gets lower. And then there was one mention on the Skoda page, more system improvements and bug fixes. There are two things people found out. One improvement is now you can see charging speed in the charging menu in kilowatts. This was missed out before, and lots of customers with 3.0 stated they would love to see how fast is the car charging in the car, so they do not have to go to the charger or look at their smartphone. Now you can do. And one bug fix not mentioned is one I never did a video about, because here the hint, I didn't want to buy a camera for heat signature. And basically it's like this: the heat from your system was on the wrong side. So basically, if you want to get the driver's seat heated through the vents, the hot air comes out on the passenger seat. And they fixed this. Now the air comes in the right temperature, on the right vent, wherever you want this. And you might want to consider those things when updating, because maybe you have experienced those too, and now they are fixed. Now I want to have 3 of my viewers talk to you about their experience with the update. The first one is from Peter. He is a viewer of my channel and an active member of a German ENYAQ forum where he's known as Langstreckenfahrer, or long distance driver if you translate his name. And he is addressing especially those who had severe issues when updating. Not only that, but he is addressing them, and for them, I'll read his statement because it sums up very precise on what is Skoda doing wrong there. His statement is written down in 4 bullet points, and also watch on the order of those bullet points. Number 1. The way Skoda deals with customers for whom the update did not go through correctly is unacceptable. It does not matter whether the workshop, which is Skoda's contractual partner, did not follow the instructions exactly, or whether the software was not optimally programmed. Second, on the other hand, however, we see that most of the updates ran smoothly for the vast majority of ENYAQ owners, and some experienced maybe minor errors, but that were solved rather quickly in a few days. Only a few experienced catastrophic errors. Point 3. Despite all the displeasure with Skoda, I think that the few updates, which unfortunately were only available from the dealership and not over the air, are good and have significantly improved the ENYAQ and my user experience. Among other things, the update to 3.0 corrected incorrect values in the car and made the charge planning for the first time usable. With the update to 3.7, the heating settings were corrected, as I already stated in this video, making the air conditioning a pleasant thing. The consumption data was added to the little cockpit display. Plug and charge got implemented, and the charging power is now displayed when charging. But the best thing about 3.7 is that the programming of the driving motor control units has been changed so that the ENYAQ consumes less. I would almost say significantly less. I wouldn't have expected that, and for me it's a real added value. And now point 4. Why is point 3 so neglected and Skoda is mainly criticized? In my opinion, it's because of point 1. Sorry Skoda, it's really your own fault. Sometimes things can go wrong, even horribly wrong. But then I have to own up to my mistakes, correct them, and above all, indemnify my customers. Dealing with mistakes shows whether you have a trustworthy partner in the long term or not. With skillful error management, you can retain customers in the long term. Skoda seems to be squandering this opportunity here. What a pity. And I, for myself, have nothing to add to his statement. I bet now there will be 2 questions in the room. The first one, what will come after version 3.7? And the second one, when do I get the update? Because if you are on 3.2 or higher, you are not part of the service campaign right now. And basically, I totally understand those questions. Yet I don't have any answers because Skoda did not provide me with any information on this. So I cannot answer you the question when software version 3.2 or higher ENYAQs will be updated, nor how do they get the updates. And I cannot tell you whether there will be a version 3.8 or however they call them, or what will be in it. And also I do not have any information on the preheating topic, so no statement here from Skoda which I can give you. And I know this is not much, and I'm sorry for that I cannot provide you with more information, but that is how it is. And on this occasion, I simply want to make one thing clear, because still there are rumors out there which are simply not true, even done by dealers, told by dealers to their customers. And this is that you might get software version 4. No, the first generation ENYAQs will never get a software version 4 or 5 in their car. They are sticked and bound to software version 3. And basically the first generation ENYAQs are all those built until 2023. So starting with the model year 2024, software version 4 came into the cars. And basically this is the hard cut between the first generation ENYAQs and the second generation ENYAQs. And now if you're looking the video because you have a second generation ENYAQ and you hope to get information on updates for you, again, I'm sorry, I don't have any information. If you're on a 4.0 and ask when you get 4.1, I don't know. You want to know if you get software version 5 because now ENYAQs are coming X-Works with 5.2. I don't know. Skoda did not release any official information on this, nor do I have some. So basically, yes, it is planned that software version 4 ENYAQs get version 5, but I don't know when and how. I have no information on this. And Skoda simply is not communicating on this. They do not communicate, rather they can't or they won't do it, I don't know. Maybe you want to watch my video why Skoda doesn't understand their customer when it comes to software, because I dig into those topics as well. But as of now, I'm really sorry that I cannot provide you any information on any of those topics. Now you are asked, what do you think about the update policy of Skoda, and especially what do you think about the update 3.7, and what is your experience? Is your ENYAQ already updated? Are you still waiting? Was the update hassle-free, or did you experience any problems? How did the dealership treated you? Did you feel well informed? Everything, write me down please in the comments, and if you want to give me a longer statement, then you could also send me an email. I really appreciate your feedback, because then I have way more information to spread into the whole community and also to communicate towards Skoda. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider to subscribe, because around only 20% of my viewers are subscribers right now, and it really helps me. I know you need a Google account for that, but other than that, it's completely free. And then we see each other in the next video, and until then, stay full of energy.